Is our campsite or?
I made a mistake. I was just one off.
You just pulled it to the wrong campsite.
I just pulled it to the wrong campsite. Nobody was there. This is my campsite. Site 115. This is the one I always get at Moose Hillock.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeremy. I'm the host of the RV Atlas podcast and the author of Where Should We Camp Next? This summer, Sean the camera guy and I are hitching up and heading out on a huge adventure, and we are going to take you along for the ride. From boondocking to beach camping, we are going on 8 great camping trips and sharing our best tips and tricks along the way. This is Let's Go Camping with Go RVing. Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Go Camping with Go RVing. Today, Sean the camera guy and I are going to give you 8 great tips for RV resort camping. And we are here at one of my favorite RV resorts in the entire country. We're at Moose Hillock Camping Resort in Lake George, New York. Now, every RV resort is a little bit different, but Moose Hillock has a lot of the features that make RV resort camping so great. So let's give you 8 great tips to plan your own RV resort camping trip. Let's go. Tip 1. RV resorts like Moose Hillock are a destination in their own right, so you really don't have to leave if you don't want to. When my family comes to Moose Hillock or to any really good RV resort, we typically come to just chill out and enjoy the campground. We really don't plan a lot of activities outside the campground because there's so much to do at a good RV resort. Tip number 2, embrace your inner athlete when you go to an RV resort. One thing that my family loves about coming to a place like Moose Hillock or another good RV resort is that they have lots of sports courts, like basketball courts, volleyball courts, and sometimes even tennis courts. So bring the equipment you need. And also know that teenagers love RV resort camping for that reason. My boys can play basketball all day long at Moose Hillock. Tip number 3, plan on getting wet. Every RV resort is different, but most of them are known for having great pools, water slides, hot tubs, splash pads, and more. So bring every kid an extra bathing suit and get some of those quick dry towels so you don't have wet towels hanging up all over the RV. Tip 4, pick a site that's right for you. If you want to be up close to the action and close to the pool and playgrounds, then get a site that's close to those things, but it might be a little bit busier there and a little bit louder. Now, if you want to be away from the action, make sure you get a site that's further back in the campground and away from all of the noise from the pool and the playground. Tip number 5, if the RV resort that you're camping at is really, really big, like most RV resorts are, consider renting a golf cart, particularly if you get one of those sites that's really far away from the camp store and the pool and the playground. We always love getting a golf cart. It is a very special treat for our family. Tip number 6, you don't have to cook if you don't want to. Now, I love camp cooking, but when we go to an RV resort, particularly if it's been a long week at work, sometimes we just like to get food at the resort. And most RV resorts have some kind of cafe or restaurant where you can have a full meal or grab a snack near the pool. Tip number 7, get ready for those awesome full hookup sites. On our first few episodes of Let's Go Camping with Go RVing, we were boondocking and had no hookups. Now that we're at an RV resort, we have water, electric, and sewer. So make sure you bring your drinking water hose and your sewer hose and your 30 or 50 amp cable. Tip number 8, when you're camping at an RV resort, consider splurging on something extra. Here at Moose Hillock, you can rent awesome cabanas right by the pool. We've been at other RV resorts where they will even drop off a hot tub right at your site. So when resort camping, treat yourself to something special. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Let's Go Camping with Go RVing. 8 tips for RV resort camping. And a huge thank you to Moose Hillock for hosting us for this episode. This is one of the most beautiful RV resorts in the country. If you want to find out more about RVing or find a dealer near you, head on over to GoRVing.com.